keep the leaders on the road at the state capitol. Last few hours of this session this go-around, and as always, it is a contentious and difficult way to try to end up a session. We are pleased to have Representative Laura Hoydick of Stratford as our guest today. And boy, you've got a busy life going on, much less all that you're doing here.
We do. It's very, very busy. We're not moving a lot of bills, but it's been busy.
All right, now that's something that this year has been particularly slow on. When you talk about bills that have gone all the way through the system, it is less than two hands?
It is less than two hands, I believe. Maybe we're up to three now, but...
Wow. Yeah. Wow. All right, now, so people looking at this and saying, hey, the budget's one thing, and that's obviously very difficult, but what about all the work that has to be done? What about all the regular work that has to be done? And yet, apparently, it's not moving.
Well, it's often found that just because we propose bills doesn't mean we have to take them up or pass them.
Right.
People really believe that we have far too many laws as it is, and I happen to be one of those people. And with the tie in the Senate and the House numbers so close, people have to be on board, and that I need to be assured that the bill is going to pass. And that's why there is less bills going through both sides. So.
Have you got any pet projects that you really want to see and hope that you will get the support on?
Well, the budget is the first thing. The budget is critical, because without the budget, right now the Republican budgets, proposed budgets, keep Stratford whole, but the Democrat budgets wipe Stratford out. So I'm very concerned about that. And as far as pet projects, not so much pet projects, but good policy, yeah, we have a lot of energy that I'm interested in.
Anything that you in particular are concerned with?
Well, one thing that did pass through both chambers was the continuation of child support collection. So since I've been, for the past four or 5 years, I've been working on improving the child support collection system with the Department of DSS and the Judiciary Branch. And so step by step, bit by bit, we are able to knock some things off, and we passed a bill that allows marshals to do capias warrants, serve capias warrants. So that's important to us.
Well, that is very complex because it involves two large entities here in the government, and to coordinate all of that, given the realities of the budget and cutbacks and so forth, it took some real doing to pull that off.
It has. It was bipartisan. We had a task force. We've chipped away at all the issues and the barriers that we have. But when you have $1.5 billion in uncollected child support and people on Husky and other systems because they need to be able to exist and need to be able to live, this is something we have to fix. And I'm happy to announce that the Commissioner of DSS has issued a feasibility study to improve the technology. So maybe we can get some more forward-moving process. But it's going to cost a little bit of money. So
the technology is something that DSS has been woefully lagging in.
That is correct.
I'm led to believe it's improved a little bit, but up until very recently it was all COBOL. And this is stuff that nobody was able to fix in the government because they'd all retired, all the people who were experts in that area. So they had to rehire them to work on these things.
You are very right, David.
Unbelievable.
My colleague, who is the ranking in Judiciary, Representative Rabimbis, was astounded when she went into court and saw the technology that they were using to look at these capias warrants. So you are exactly right, and I was glad the Commissioner has agreed to do this feasibility program.
Yeah, just upgrading that will make the whole system work so much more efficiently and assist in collecting that money, I know.
It will, and the other thing we have to remember, the federal government reimburses Connecticut 2/3 of what we spend. So, we really have an opportunity while it still exists, and I hope we take advantage of it.
All right, to that end now, you're very concerned, obviously, in these human services areas. The federal government is talking a lot of talk about major cutbacks in invaluable areas to us here in Connecticut as well as the rest of the country. How are you seeing that play out as far as we're concerned?
Well, I'm seeing it play off like we're playing off in Connecticut, or play out. I think both sides are posturing a bit. I think there's a lot of things that are being said. I think we will have some reforms and revisions. I hope it's better than what the proposed Affordable Care Act is right now, because I don't think, though I am hopeful that they come to some kind of consensus, what is proposed is not going to be any better for anyone. So, but I think there's a lot of posturing going on right now.
Yeah, the hue and cry is certainly not looking as though the general public wants anything like this to be passed when they recognize what it entails.
That is correct.
And that's critically important, of course.
I think they want reform, like we want reform,
Yeah.
reasonable reform, but we also want it to be well vetted and transparent.
Talk about with you. Unfortunately, the time is not permitting, and I know you've got an incredibly busy schedule to get through today, but I appreciate you taking the time out to give us some ideas on where things are standing and some of the positive things that you're talking about, which are so critical, because a lot of people think not a heck of a lot's been done this year, just trying to get that budget squared away.
But remember, we will be back.
Yes, you will. Yes, there will be no escape.
No, there will be a
sure.
special session, yes.
Hey, Laura, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, David.
Representative Laura Hoydick, our guest on this edition of Meet the Leaders, another one of those who's going to be spending some very late nights trying to work out this very complex budget. For Meet the Leaders, I'm David Smith.